Welcome to the Real Healing Institute show. So where there is life, there is consciousness. I know we've talked about this before, but where there is consciousness, there is life. Everything in existence is defined by vibrational frequencies of consciousness. So this means light, sound, color, all physical phenomenon, both living and inanimate. If you can change the frequencies of vibration of any single thing, anything, you can change the appearance of that thing, whether it's sound or color, gas, liquid, or physical organs. So this is why when the physical organs present with an appearance of ill health, it's because the normal frequencies of vibration of that physical organ have been reduced and the life within the organ has been depleted. This is the only reason why. So science presents this universe as being matter that is possessing consciousness. But the truth is, the universe is consciousness, which has taken on the appearance of matter. And as a result of a descent into the lower frequencies of vibration of consciousness. So this is the true reality of existence and nothing else. So let me tell you that again. The universe is actually consciousness, which takes on the appearance of physical matter, meaning what you have in your consciousness is what creates your reality. Let me go back to the physical health. So if you have a part of your body that has a lower vibration, a lower frequency, meaning it has ill health, or it's a sore part, or it's got something wrong with it, it is not because you twisted your ankle back then and you did the thing, or you fell off this thing, or you whatever. Maybe that's the result. Maybe that's how it originated. But the only reason that it originated, because everything is spirit, is because there was a message that your body is trying to tell you, and that message every single time will be the same thing. It will be saying, hey, there's something here that you're thinking, there's something that is in your consciousness that is harming you, and it needs to be healed. So I have this book called Messages from the Body by Michael Lincoln. Super fabulous. It's really cool because it tells you the emotional cause, or it gives you options anyways, for the emotional cause behind your physical ailment. And it's very specific. You know, it will tell you right down to the tips of your fingers, down to each joint in your finger, if you're having an issue, you know, what all of them mean. It has the whole entire body that is in there. But what it is actually telling you is, hey man, there's something here to resolve. So I know sometimes I'll read this, you know, to my clients if they're coming for something. I'll be, does this sound like you? You know, does it sound like you? So they kind of have an idea of where we're going, you know, in the session. And they'll read it and they'll be like, oh, wow, yeah, that is accurate. But here's the thing. It's an accurate description of how you're feeling, of something that's gone on in your life or whatever it is. But what needs to happen is that situation, that thought, that bit that's there in your consciousness actually needs to be changed. It needs to be thought of differently. It needs to have a new perspective. You know, one time I was sitting in Circle, Spiritual Circle, which, hey, by the way, I'm going to have one coming up here on this Sunday. It's every second and fourth Sunday of the month. If you want to join, go to my website. There'll be a link. You can hop on. But I was in Circle one time, and this phantom came through. So this is that angel that is covered with eyes, like the whole wings, the whole thing. It was just completely covered with eyes, and I'm like, what is this crazy looking thing? And it told me, I'm the angel of perspective. Which eye do you need to look through so that you can understand that this too is love? And it was like, wow. So that took this creepy, weird looking thing that I'm like, how can this be an angel? Like, what even is this? And had me understand on such a deep, profound, impactful level that all we need to do to heal anything in our life is shift the perspective around it. And I know that when you're in the middle of something that is really difficult and you're thinking, well, how can I shift this perspective? This person did this thing to me. There's no other way to look at it. There always is. Let me give you my story. So when I had the most horrible thing happen, you know, my marriage fell apart because I find out that my husband's been cheating and lying and all of these things. At that time, from my perspective, I was a victim of what he did. my whole life is falling apart. Now this family that I've been with for 20 something years, I've been homeschooling my kids, I've been doing, staying at home, haven't gone out and, lived my life, had my career, done this or that. I've been raising a family, and now this dream, this thing that I had that I thought was going to be forever is not. And so at that time, I'm a victim. He did this to me. What a terrible thing this is. How can I ever get over this? But it was that very thing that broke me open and set me free. Did it happen the day that it happened? Heck no, it took months. But I was on the spiritual path. And so as I changed my perspective, which happened to come through a burst of this relief of enlightenment that came through that really truly showed me, hey man, even this is a gift. Even this is a gift. And even though you're like, what? How could this terrible thing, how could this abuse that happened to me before, how could this thing that happened to me in the past, how could this be the gift? It is the gift. It is the gift. And it is a perspective change, looking at it through the eyes of, okay, no, this is love too. But sometimes we can't see it. Why? Because our mind hasn't been stretched that far yet, or we haven't learned the lesson. And until we've learned the lesson, we're not going to understand. But some of us don't take the time to go in deep, and we just continue to look at things as if this world was actually just material, and that the things that have materialized in our life are just by happenstance, and they just happen to be the way that they are because we don't understand that it is consciousness that has dictated everything. So, depending on where you live, depending on where you're at, these reflections of our consciousness can come back to us really quickly, or can come back to us really slowly, like they might take some time. And so if this is something that, let's say you've shifted your perspective on something, and you're like, no, I'm just going to choose to, to be happy and to have these good days and to do this kind of stuff. As you do this, you're going to notice a change, but sometimes that change takes a bit of time. And so you might, be going on a few weeks, a few months, however long, and thinking, okay, no, for real though, like, why am I not seeing these results that are coming, or that are supposed to be coming to me? And in these times, this is when we can lose faith. This is when we can lose hope and think, okay, but why am I even doing this? But yet we forget to realize that, hey man, you've been living your life for the past however long you've been alive for, completely unaware of this knowledge that it is actually your consciousness that is creating the visual outcomes that you have. And so sometimes that lag time takes a bit of time to catch up. But when you know this, when something presents itself to you, you can be like, okay, well, I do remember back in the day I used to do this a lot, and now this is coming back to me. Okay, well, I do remember back at this time, I used to think this way, or I was in this energy, and now this energy is presenting itself to me. However, when things begin to speed up in your life, which I imagine that they've probably sped up in your life, because something has shifted in the last several months, I'm being told. And it's almost as if, like, man, I don't even remember November. And it's because time is actually going faster now. But the thing is, with this time going faster, the results, the results of our consciousness are being displayed to us this much faster. So we can't continue to do things in the old way and expect that, we got a bit of lag time before that negative thing, that negative thought, that detrimental thinking, that intense energy focus that I had on that bad or negative experience, it's going to come back to me this much faster, and it's going to cause chaos. But here's the gift. This is the blessing, because it is showing you this now. That when you take your focus and when you shift it onto something that's not good, that's negative, you get more of it back. And so this is showing you how quickly that this is happening now, which is proving to you that, hey man, this is real. Your consciousness really does dictate your life. Let me give you an example here. So let's say that you have a bunch of energy that you are spending on worrying about something, about a certain situation, or you're like, I don't really know, is this situation, is this going to come out, in a negative way, in a positive way, how's it going to come out? So you're taking all your energy and you're putting it into that. Okay, but you only got so much energy in a day. And so what percent, just ask yourself right now, what percent of my energy am I wasting? What percent? Okay, let's say that it was like 11% or something like this. Okay, so that 11%, what could you be doing with that energy? And if somebody could just come and hand you like, hey man, do you want 11% more energy? Would you turn it down? Of course you wouldn't. You'd be like, heck yes. What do I got to do? You'd want it. But this is all you got to do, is not waste it on things that are harming you. So let's say that you have some thought about, okay, like it's a financial stress. Okay, as soon as it comes to your mind, what is something that you can say instead of what you've been saying? Think about it honestly. What can you tell yourself? Well, it's always worked out for me in the past. I've never not been taken care of. Things always come around and end up working out for me. When you can shift it when you can interrupt the thought loop that's going on, that's telling you this bad thing is happening, and you can tell it, hey man, no it's not. And you can have that conversation with yourself, because this is just another part of yourself that is telling you something for a reason, because it's concerned about you, right? Because it loves you. And so it thinks like, well, if I warn you about all these horrible, terrible things that can happen, then they're not going to happen. But this is not the truth. This is what we've been systematically programmed, just like anything in our life. We've been programmed to think this way. And because we've been programmed to think that way, we don't have any conscious thought around it. We don't have our consciousness understanding that, hey, this is a choice. I can choose to not think this way. Because I know when, if I've been in a thought loop, man, it's hard to get out. You got to play little tricks in your mind. You honestly do. You have to trick your mind into getting out of that thought loop. And so what I did, if there's something I don't want to give my energy to anymore. So I'll give you an example here. When I left a situation, I didn't want to give that person any more of my energy, because I had given enough. And so anytime that this person would pop into my head, I would put them up on a shelf. In my mind, I would slide something in front of it. And I would say, like I'm going to think about something else. And so I would think about, puppies or kitties or something that made me happy. And I continually did this. Now, you could say that this is avoidance. It's not. It is training your brain out of the programming that it previously had and training it into a new way. Now, this is not avoidance, because you do this and you do this and you do this and you do this until you don't have to do it anymore, until the thought loops are broken. And then you can deal with that situation. Then you could go back and you can be like, okay, if this person, harmed you, betrayed you, did all of these things, deal with it. But set aside the time to deal with it. This is why I made the mental cleanse series, so that you can set aside time to deal with whatever specific issue that you had, so that you don't have to be thought looping. Because when you're ruminating on something, you are creating more of it. You are building up that exact same energy that it was created with in the first place. You are making more. You're expanding that existing energy. You're feeding it. And at some point, even in that moment, but at some point also in the future, you're going to experience more and more and more of it again. And so the way to get out of that is to literally get out of that, to stop it, to consciously stop the rumination, and to switch that rumination into something that you actually want to ruminate about, like a wonderful outcome in your day. If you were to sit there, and if you think about all the thought loops that you have, the worry, the this, the that, if you were to spend that amount of energy, let's say it's 11%, that's what we're going with today. If you were to spend 11% of your day sitting there with focused intent of an uplifted happiness or joy, or an uplifted, I'm connecting with the divine. I'm sitting here waiting and I'm connecting with the divine. If you were to use that 11% on that, man, the outcomes you will have in your life will be amazing. You are going to feel absolutely amazing. And this is all done on your own. You did it. And you did it by training, by programming your mind and shattering the old way and creating the new way that you want. Now, here's something. As long as we are remaining, because some of us, maybe things have happened in the past and we feel like we are a victim to it. And yes, you were, this thing happened, blah, blah, blah. But do I consider myself a victim in the circumstances of my husband cheating and doing all the things that he did? Absolutely not. Because if I view myself as a victim, I'm going to be a victim again in the future, because I'm going to be carrying the consciousness form within me that I am a victim, and therefore there are going to be circumstances and things that come to me that are going to prove to me my beliefs. Because all you are in your life is witness to the things that you truly actually believe. So when you believe that, oh man, I'm worthy and deserving to catch a lucky break, you're gonna be worthy and deserving, and you're gonna catch your lucky break. But if you believe like, oh man, I never catch a lucky break, all these other people do, and I must not deserve it, and I blah, 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 then that's exactly gonna be the outcome that you have, because it's your belief. And your belief carries a magnetic frequency, an energetic charge, it's electromagnetic, that thought is going to go out, and it is going to be like a calling card that is saying, hey, bring me this. So if you want to believe and ruminate and have unforgiveness and think, oh, I'm a victim of this thing, it's going to happen to you again and again and again, because it came here to teach you a lesson. It came here to teach you to grow beyond. But when you haven't experienced the full love, the full depth and spiritual understanding that everything is actually working for you, then you're going to remain being a victim. And because you're in that mindset, you are now going to attract more things that are going to be similar, so that you can stay in that frequency. You're going to attract people who are going to agree with you, or who are going to be like, yeah, let's agree with this. We're all victims here. And that type of consciousness attracts that type of consciousness. And because of this, you're going to perpetuate it into the future, because all these things that we're experiencing in our life, the unseen forces, the invisibleness is really not invisible when you have spiritual awareness. Imagine your thoughts are actually material. Every thought that you have is a material thought. It's something solid. Just imagine this. And then think about how many of these thoughts that you have do you actually want to materialize in your life? Probably it's a lower percent of things that you think of. You probably don't want all the things that you think about, do you? And so what do you need to do? Is to heal these things, because the reason that you're ruminating and the reason that you're thinking about these things is because something is unhealed. Something is not being seen properly. The proper eye has not been looked through at a certain situation, and this is why there's rumination. This is why we believe these things. And sometimes we will even identify with these negative things that have happened, and we will claim it as ours, and there will be people that will say, I am a victim. How powerful are these words when you say something along these lines? How powerful is that? You are charging your entire magnetic frequency with someone who is going to come and victimize you, because you are in that victim mode. And now, I know that there will be people that think, oh, that this is ridiculous, and think that, oh no, that this is not how it works. But those people have not truly looked at themselves. They have not understand the spiritual depth of what is really going on, because they are still living in the material plane and not understanding that it is consciousness that creates matter. They think that matter just has consciousness within it. But they don't understand that consciousness came first. That consciousness is the creator of it. And therefore, if they continue along their same lines of thinking, the chaos and the misfortunes that they have in their life are going to continue, because they are the creator of it. Because it is their consciousness, and only their consciousness, that is the center of their world, that is charging everything, including their environment around them. It's programming everything around them. So I was watching this video the other day, and this woman had an NDE, like a near-death experience, and she came back and she was talking. It was really interesting, but she was talking about forgiveness. And so we know that we must forgive people. We know that we have to, because when we don't, we're carrying these magnetic charges. They're attracting these bad things to us, and all this stuff. And this is the reason why we're here. We're here because people hurt us, and man, if you can forgive somebody who truly harmed you, man, you've made it. You've done it. You've achieved it. You got it. You did it. You did the thing you were supposed to do, because it is so hard to forgive people who have harmed us, and especially when there's no apology, when there's no remorse, when it was extreme, it's hard to do. But when you can do that, man, It took the spirit to be able to do that. And it took the knowledge from the spirit to be able to show you the eye that you needed to look through to be like, oh, that's why. Oh, okay, I understand. I understand and I do forgive. Anyways, this woman with her NDE, she's saying, when you forgive, it's for you. She's like, but it is also for that other person. And we want this when we've truly forgiven. We do want that relief for the other person. But what she was saying was, when you forgive that person, you are releasing them from what essentially the energy that has been put on them. And I know, because I experienced this myself when I forgave somebody. This was after like 18 years. Forgave somebody. Was like, oh, I better forgive that person. And I did. And I truly, truly, truly did. Then a couple months later, I received a message from this person, which showed me, man, they're working on things. They have to be, or they wouldn't have sent me this message. And so I understood at that moment, I had something to do with that. Because you don't go 18 years and then forgive somebody and then they reach out and send you, like it was too happenstance to be happenstance. And I don't believe in any of that anyways. But I saw that my forgiveness of them released them. Which, here's something I want to say. If you have somebody in your life and you believe something about them and you believe that thing very adamantly and you really truly believe that it's true about them, it is true. Because your beliefs materialize. Your beliefs are made manifest. Your conscious thoughts become visible, tangible matter in this life. So if you believe something about somebody and it is detrimental, it is harmful about them, you are energetically binding them to that behavior, to that thing, to that thought, to whatever it is. You are the perpetrator in this. You're energetically binding them to it. And when you change your thinking about that person, about whatever it is releasing them. You are freeing them from that energy that you have put on them. Because we know telepathy is real, right? You think of this person, all of a sudden they call the thing, blah, blah, blah. This is real. Energy is real. And so when we've put some type of energetic belief, meaning we've taken our consciousness, because our consciousness is energy, and we've thought something about someone, it will harm and affect that person. Now, people who intentionally do this to harm other people because they could are going to have those effects come back. And it's not just going to be regular karma. It's going to come back to them tenfold so that they understand, so that maybe they can see this harm that comes to them is not meant to hurt them. It's meant to wake them up out of their stupor, out of their unawareness, and see, oh, hey, man, I used to think and really speak bad about these people, and I used to gossip, and I used to do all of this kind of stuff, and look, now it's come back to roost. But whoever is doing that to you now, know that it is going to come back to roost for them. And as long as they remain unaware about it, it's going to harm them in some way, hopefully shockingly enough that they wake up and that they realize, oh, man, I was actually the instigator of this. Oh, man, it was actually me that did this. And when we can realize that the world is all spirit, and that the matter, the visible matter that we are seeing because of our own beliefs and because of our own consciousness, because of our own creation, then we're going to be a whole lot more careful with the things that we allow ourselves to think about, that we allow ourselves to indulge in. And we can take that 11% that we're wasting on something else, and what would you use that 11% for? What are you going to use it for? To think happy, joyful thoughts. Okay, cool. So let's do that. So let's think about the things that we like beautiful green summer grass and how it feels on your bare feet. It feels so nice, and especially when that warm sun is shining on you and you got that nice cool grass under your feet, and then maybe on that grass you bend down and you pick up a flower. And as you pick up that flower, oh, you notice it. The petals are so intricate. Look at the color that you chose. And what scent does that flower happen to be? What kind of flower did you pick? What's your favorite? You'll know, because whatever your favorite is, that's the flower that you just picked. Your subconscious is giving you all kinds of information when you just do a little exercise like this. And now you see, oh, look, there comes a butterfly, and that butterfly lands on that flower. And so you examine that butterfly for a minute. Notice the color of its wings. Notice how it's moving. What is it doing? Is it eating the flower? Is it sitting on it? Is it talking to you? What is that butterfly doing? And then as you look up, you can see that, oh, there's some clouds in the sky and the most beautiful blue sky around. And perhaps you can even see these beautiful trees up above. What kind of trees are your favorite trees? Which ones come to mind? And as you think about these things, you can think, oh man, it really is uplifting. And it's almost as if you're there right now in the grass with the flower, with the butterfly, with the trees. It's almost as if you're there right now. And when you can use that 11% to focus on things that are just like, wow, meaningful, that feel good, that allow you to be in the present, in the now, you're going to notice that you just feel different. And this is a good way to uplift yourself, because when you are doing an exercise like this, it is impossible for those rumination thoughts to come in, because you're using your consciousness. You're using it up. It's already used. It's like having an oven that you can only fit so much stuff inside of, and you want to cook this or you want to cook that, but hey man, we can only cook the turkey. It's a big turkey. We only got room for that in the oven. When you use your consciousness and you only have room for the good in there, you don't have room to put other things inside the oven, inside your brain. And so I want to just send you with this today. Guys, you're doing a great job. You were kicking butt. You were doing so good with your life. And I see that you all have such good, kind hearts. And I can see some of you have your hearts completely blocked out. Not completely blocked out. You let certain things in. But it's almost a narrow path. It's supposed to be big and wide and open, and I can see that it's like a narrow path. Like, okay, I'll let this little thing in because this feels safe. I'll let this little thing feel in because it feels safe. But here's the thing. It's all belief. And so that fear that you have that is keeping your heart closed or not open all the way, it's only belief. And when you shift that, when you heal it, what perspective do you need to look at? Because at one point your heart was open. And then at one point it got a little smaller and it closed a little bit more and a little bit more. And when you can look back through these years and you can think, okay, well, this was where it kind of closed off. And you'll justify it. You'll say, well, rightfully so, because this person did this to me, or I was, this happened here, or this happened here. But this is the past. And when we carry the past with us into the future, it will repeat itself. And so what do you need to forgive about your past? Maybe it's yourself. What do you need to tell your heart? Like, hey, heart, you're doing a really good job. If you could just soften and open again, that'd be great. When you can do this little bit of work on yourself, you're going to notice that this has bigger, more lasting effects. And that it expands into more areas in your life than just the pain in the past, or to just relationship, or to just this or that, because everything is all interconnected. So anyways, this is what I have for you guys here today. Love you guys so much. Oh, check me out. I am on Auraverse. I'm on the Auraverse network. Now, I'm going to have a link for that down below. So this is different content than what you will be getting up here. I'll be putting out a show a week on that platform. It's amazing. Go freaking check it out. Not only is it beautiful, but they have all kinds of, I can't remember how many shows we got on there, maybe 5, but they are all fascinating people that are putting these shows on. Man, go check out their content. It is so cool. Auraverse. Anyways, I will have that link down below. Also, you guys can check out the childhood wound quiz. This is not just a quiz, but it actually leads you to the solutions, and I will have that one down below. And don't forget, I have my spiritual circles every second and fourth Sunday at 11 Mountain Standard Time. And you can hop onto that through my website. So love you guys. Take care, and I'll see you in the next one.